All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about how to stop being a slave to your own business and start buying back your most valuable asset, your time. And the secret? Well, it's about completely rethinking why you hire people. It's about stopping hiring to grow and instead starting to hire to reclaim your own life.
Okay, let's just kick things off with this quote from entrepreneur Dan Martell. I mean, wow, does that hit a little too close to home for anyone? If you're an entrepreneur, you've probably felt this exact thing, that you're trapped by the very business you created to set yourself free.
You know that feeling? That's the first sign you're caught in what's called the entrepreneur's trap. It's this really weird paradox where the more successful you become, the less freedom you actually have. Let's take a look at what that looks like in the real world. So meet Stuart. By all accounts, he was a huge success. He built an amazing company, but behind the scenes, he was completely drowning. He bought into that whole hustle and grind culture, juggling every single thing himself until the pressure just became unbearable. And it led to some really serious mental health issues. He literally became a prisoner of his own success.
Stewart had slammed right into what Dan Martell calls the pain line. This is that critical breaking point, that moment where the daily stress and pain of running the business gets so bad that you know, deep down, something has to change. You just can't keep going the way you have been.
Now, when entrepreneurs hit this pain line, something really strange often happens. On a subconscious level, they actually start to sabotage their own success. It's wild. They might look for a way to sell the business, or they just let it stall out. Or sometimes they even actively get in the way of its growth, all because, in their mind, more growth just equals more pain. So how do you break this cycle? How do you get out of the trap? Well, it all starts with a completely new way of thinking. It's called the Buyback Principle. And this right here, this is the core idea. It's so simple, but for most founders, it is absolutely revolutionary. The number one goal of your next hire shouldn't be to add some new function to grow the business. Nope. It should be to take tasks off your plate so you can buy back your time. This slide just lays it out so perfectly, right? You can see the shift. Instead of seeing hiring as this big cost you have to swallow to get bigger, you start seeing it as an investment in your own freedom. You stop trying to do more and more and more, and instead you start focusing only on what truly matters. So how do you actually put this into practice? You use a simple, repeatable process called the Buyback Loop. It's just 3 steps. First, you audit your time to figure out where it's really going. Second, you transfer all those low-value, energy-draining tasks. And third, you fill that time you just freed up with the high-value work that, honestly, only you can do. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Let's get tactical. I'm going to give you 2 really powerful frameworks you can literally start using today. The first big question is always this one. What should I actually be giving away? I mean, it feels like everything is important, right? How do you choose? Well, don't worry. There's a system for that. This little beauty is the drip matrix. You basically categorize every single task you do based on 2 really simple questions. 1, does this task drain my energy or does it light me up? And 2, what's its monetary value? Now, see that bottom left quadrant, the low-value draining stuff? Those are your delegation tasks. That's the stuff that has to go first. Your entire goal here is to eventually live in that top right corner, the production quadrant. This is where the magic happens. This is your zone of genius, where you're doing high-value work that also gets you excited and energized. And once you know what to delegate, the replacement ladder tells you who to hire. And, just as important, in what order. See, you don't jump right to hiring a COO. You start at the bottom rung. You start by buying back your time from administration. We're talking your inbox and your calendar. Then you just move up the ladder, step by step, strategically replacing yourself in different parts of the business. So what does this all lead to? What's the end game here? It's not about escaping your business. It's about completely transforming your relationship with it. It's about what's called living the buyback life. Look, the ultimate goal here isn't to grind until you're 65 and then just stop. The point is to design a business and a life that you don't need to retire from. It's about creating this sustainable system where you can do fulfilling, high-impact work pretty much indefinitely, all because you're not burning yourself out on all the small stuff anymore. As Rob Hill once said, my goal is to build a life I don't need a vacation from. Just think about that for a second. Imagine a life where your work is actually a source of energy, not something you're constantly trying to escape from. And it is so important to remember this. This is not a project you complete and then you're just done. The buyback principle is a philosophy. It's this continuous, ongoing cycle of auditing your time, transferring tasks, and refilling your calendar with what really matters most. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Based on everything we just talked about, what is one small, low-value, energy-draining task that you can commit to taking off your plate this week? Because that right there, that's where this whole journey begins.